In this week's vlog, I wrestle with geometry, chant my way into inspiration, have a nice crash while skiing with my dad, and plunge into the freezing ocean by night, all in the name of art. And how all of these things were connected is quite amazing. So I'm finally back from my little trip to Hawaii, so I'm excited to be starting painting again where I left off. Today I'm gonna be doing the pillar up here, trying to match it on the other side and also start seeing if the color matches well with this kind of more warm tone. So hopefully by the end of this session I'll be able to adjust the tints of blues and warmer blues as well. Alright, so I just finished my day of painting. I'm just gonna give you a little update. So I did this pillar here. Not too exciting. I love painting water, but painting this type of structure, like, I mean, I'm gonna have to paint it about 6 times. It's not my favorite. I rather when there's like unique details and forms. So I just wanted to show you guys something I took the habit to do, is to sit down on my meditation mat in front of my painting and meditate. And when I do that, it feels like there's something that almost like the mirror becomes activated, the mirror being the painting. So I try to get a habit when I'm painting these kind of very mystical and very personal and spiritual things, to take time to let them open up and reveal their secrets to me. And the only way to do that is in silence. I also have a little sort of prayer invocation I do that I want to share with you guys. It's quite simple. When I begin, I like to start with Om. And in this case, I imagine that the painting is chanting Om, almost like I'm giving this painting a voice. So when I chant Om, I imagine the sound coming from the painting towards me. Then I chant Om 3 times. The first time, I imagine my mental, my thoughts, everything that's very mental, that is the one projecting the sound to connect with the painting. Second Om, which would be actually the third one, would be using my emotions, imagining my emotional body, my astral body, and sending those emotions through the sound of the Om to connect with the painting. Third one, which would be the fourth one, I say it with all my body. So imagine my body vibrating, my physical body, sending its energy towards the painting. And this therefore helps me connect with the painting as if it was a living entity, which it is. And then what I like to repeat before my meditation: let silence ring as a result of a heart free from self-questioning, but not as a result of the shutting of a door. And then as I say that, I just leave it as a seed in my mind, and I let it go. And then I just focus on my breath, becoming aware of what comes to me through my environment, through the sequence of my breath, but also sometimes through images or random thoughts that feel random, I allow them to be there, I observe them, and I see if they're connected with the seed or if they're just an intrusive thought. And then I just let them go, and I do that for 10 minutes before I close my practice. So if you too have some art that you want to learn more about, you know, what does these creations have to tell you about yourself? Well, I think that's a good technique you can use in your own meditation practice. Oh, and the cool thing with this technique is that also because I'm doing it as I'm in the process of painting it, the more symbolism I'm painting and consciously putting on the canvas, it's the more information I will be able to exchange with. So my meditations become deeper and more personal and more insightful as the painting progresses. It's almost like once I put the last little dash of paint, that's when it actually opens up the secret cave within myself. Just going out back to the farm, meet Adam to work on that big frame I showed you last video, or 2 videos ago. Continue the metallic frame for the altarpiece painting, but first I have to take care of this. Alright, made it to the farm, but there's not many animals except those big, what are they called? Those big birds that I saw last time. So yep, just got here, there's no one, so I'm just waiting. This is Kizzy. Since maybe like 4 years, she must have had like 20 children, kittens. She's a very productive mom cat. But yeah, basically I came here and there's no one in the house. I'm just waiting for them to come back. The turkey. So back to where we were a few weeks ago. This is now the first welded circle. That's gonna be either the top or the bottom. And today we're just making another one, a second one, to make the Vesica Pisces shape. Beautiful moon today. Are you gonna help us, June? Second piece almost done. Oh, I guess we have to bend another one right now for this other piece, or to weld it.
We could either do that, or I'm gonna have to get another piece, so I could just get another longer piece.
Mm-hmm.
For the next loop and just one.
Okay, and keep this one for the little piece.
Yeah.
Well, would we need it?
Well,
Oh, for the doors anyways, yeah.
Yeah, for the doors. We could bend one more for the upper piece of the doors. Would be something like that, eh?
Yeah.
The welds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully it'll match like perfectly, but we'll see. So what's that for? So Adam basically wants to engineer something so that we can remove this handle, and then we can use a drill to turn the mechanism to save some time and manpower. And that like golden thing, what is it for? See if it's gonna work. It's gonna go so quick. Oh no, actually I need to find the center. Basically it's the creation of the universe. So God is like in the center, but he cannot exist, he cannot feel himself unless there's space. So he takes a compass and he traces a circle around himself. Now he can experience space and dimension, but now to create, he has to create another, you need a geometrical form. So he takes radius, he goes to one of his extremities, and then he creates another circle. So like this would become like the center of this, and then this creates another circle, and inside becomes the womb where he can now create reality. When I say he, I mean she, because now we have the two. Before it's the one, hermaphrodite, you know, sexless. Then you have the masculine that creates shape, and then the form, the empty space, becomes the feminine. And once you have two, then you can have creation, the third part. So the two becomes the three. And through the three, you can now create. So, all right, back to work. So that's what I did yesterday, this pillar here. Today I want to do this pillar, but I've noticed that on my render the proportions are off, so I just had to kind of wipe down the paint here and to try and make it symmetrical. So only now that this is corrected, so see how this now blends in more. So I filled in all of this part here, color matched it, and now my pillar will be straight. So I just finished my second pillar, I'll show you here. And now I want to do this altar that I was keeping for the last part because I was not too sure how to render it. But during my meditations, and also I feel like I've been tapping in and out of this place, and I realized, so that's the original idea here, this kind of flat piece. But more and more I am understanding what it's supposed to be, which is more of an altar that will receive items that for me are sacred to this divine feminine counterpart, to my soul. And since my last vlog in Hawaii, I have talked about swimming with tortoise and with my dad, and I feel this is a big part of the puzzle, is this archetype of the old wise turtle. So I want to, and then more stuff came up, so I basically rendered this altar that I'll show you here. I think instead of this rock, I wanted to have like an altar of mother of pearl where I'm going to be putting some sacred objects onto it, painting them on. But I think it would be so cool to also paint objects that I can actually make, and then have these items while I'm presenting the artworks in the show, to have this kind of deep connection and show how this art is alive through me, you know, through the creator, which we are all. We can bring these spaces into reality, into the physical dimension, which is what I'm doing right now. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. I'm just gonna do a little render with Photoshop, try to integrate it in, and I'll show you when that's done. Just finished my day of painting. Gotta admit, today was a bit frustrating. So I've been painting this pillar here, but then realized the proportions were not quite right. So it just becomes very, I don't know, mind consuming when you have to, you know, figure out the right tint for all these pillars, but also find the geometry of the pillar, make sure it's gonna match. It takes a lot of brain power and kind of keeps me from being in the flow, which takes more energy. So just wanted to tell you it's not always fun and games.
Alright, I was not feeling good, so I decided to do a workout, a HIIT workout, and now I'm running to the ocean for a cold dip with the full moon. And weirdly, I understand why I was feeling a bit overwhelming with my painting. It's because it's the full moon in Cancer. It's tomorrow, but it's gonna aspect exactly the place where my moon is in Cancer. Alright. That's my way of toning down the energies. It's as if every move I was doing, I had like this almost impulsive energy that wanted to just break something as I was painting it. So high intensity interval training and a cold dip at, must be -5 degrees now, does the trick. Now I feel very peaceful. Let me know in the comments how you have felt on this full moon in Cancer. The moon rules Cancer, so it really is at home, making everyone very sensitive depending on where your own moon is placed in your chart.
So a little side note as I burn my incense. I just wanted to share one of my practices that I do quite often, not every day, but in some parts of my life I do it every day. So basically it involves just drawing a few tarot cards in the morning and seeing how my day evolves, and this becomes a mirror for me to reflect my day. So today I have the Strife card, Success, the Hanged Man, and this is kind of an extra one I took for advice. So what I see the Strife, basically what I'm thinking it is gonna show me is how to resolve strife in your life. When you feel an inner tension or this kind of blocked energy, how do you go about resolving it? And this is what I'm gonna have to figure out today. These are the hints. That's the problem. We have the 6 of discs, which you see here, the rose is the same as my business, Rose Umbra. That's where it comes from. It's the heart with all the 6 planets rotating around it. Meaning you make your heart the center of your life, the state of presence, which is connected with your soul. And if you focus on this, the reverse happens. You start seeing life through the lens of your soul instead of your personality, your ego. And that is a very tricky situation, but that's where all the answers for strife lay, because your soul has the ability to see the bigger picture of your life from like a bird's eye view. So it can hint to you through your intuition this wisdom you're looking for or you need. And this is as an advice, the Ace of Discs is connecting with Hathor, with God, this kind of energy, divine energy that is embodied in Earth. So how I see it is like this physical plane that we live in is spirit and is kind of the material for spirit to communicate to you and show you this answers to resolve your strife. So let's see how this plays out today. I'll keep you updated. As for the painting segment of today, I think what I'm gonna do is do this color here and back here, because for now it's hard to see how to contrast this, because because this is lighter and it's actually going to be darker. I can't see how dark or light this has to be, so I'm gonna try to adjust this today. I'm just out of my meditation and I think I got the insight I was looking for. Yesterday someone on Instagram randomly messaged me and we just started talking, and he mentioned that there was a big transit coming, Neptune and Saturn conjuncting. I was not aware of this conjunction, but basically what it is this painting, because the pillars are very Saturnian in nature, authoritative, and Neptune is the deep sea, that like all the mysteries of the deep sea, of birth of the universe and all of these archetypes. So I think this card I got today blended with this insight I had yesterday through this person on Instagram. And you know, it's reversing what I perceive this to be. So for me, strife, you got Leo, which is the soul, and you got Saturn, constriction of the light. And what I got through this meditation, what Saturn wants and will show you until you learn, is to respect. Respect its power, respect its strength. And once you do that, it's kind of like, okay, now your soul can work with this energy without fearing. And when I say constriction, Saturn, it's all about challenges, about strifes. But basically what you want to do is to be able to work with this energy and not fear it. And for that, you need to respect. And it is a very strange concept to think about, but how can you respect challenges in your life and pain? As much as you respect having all the blessings and all the things, how can you have a very deep love for the challenges, for this aspect of the self, which we usually fear and try to avoid, but work with it in a very intimate way? And I think this is what Saturn is trying to teach me here with this card, with this painting. And there is, this austere, dark, negative connotation that we associate with Saturn now. Just change our perception as almost like a loving mother that will bring about challenges for you, but for your growth and for your soul to be able to evolve. And this shift of perspective, when we think of this divine mother that birthed us into this existence and doesn't want our soul to just come here and lose a whole lifetime, wants us to evolve. So it's this kind of energy that I'm sensing. I'm just having more insights because that card too gives me clues as to the message. So you see all around are all the 6 planets that rotate around the sun. And your sun is your soul. And if you want to be able to connect with your soul at all times, every other planet has to be in alignment. And you have to have a kind of authentic relationship with all the planets. And perhaps this was coming through to me because my relationship to Saturn, to pain, to discipline was probably not the same. I think I didn't address the relationship at all that I have to it. It was just kind of an automatic pattern in my subconscious mind. So this is what is coming through. It's almost like this painting is my soul and it's teaching me. And that's why the tarot that I did today is really useful to engage in the stream of openness of teaching, so that I can, because otherwise you go through your day and you don't think about these things until you actually address them. So doing the tarot is setting kind of a little place in your mind to open up for, looking for the information to fill in the the void that you opened. And then you have the chance of getting insights and having a dialogue with your soul or with whatever your intention is. The insights just keep coming. Because my own relationship with Saturn, because my Saturn is in my 8th house of the occult in my Vedic astrology chart, but also of the unconscious. And all of these mysteries in my painting are talking about the unconscious. So therefore, specifically for me, Saturn has a lot, he wants to guide my, my unconscious, give me the wisdom through my unconscious. But first I must address for there to be a relationship with this energy that is repressed somehow because it's in my house of the unconscious.
I think I went down the wrong side of the mountain, and it's the last chairlift of the day. Hopefully this path leads to the right part.
Alright, so I just woke up from a dream. I was having a difficult dream, and I've been on and off with my awakened dream state, but I remember everything that was in my mind. And in my dream, I was going to a tropical island, and everyone that was on the plane with me upon arrival to this island had to pass an exam. The exam was quite simple. Everyone in the plane had to read a story that was scripted, and all of the stories were about a man that was dead. And so it was like a mother figure that was passing the exam to all the people on the plane, almost like it was her dead child. And I was the last one to pass. And the last one had to give a synthesis. So everyone had a different story that it happened in the person's life. And with all those stories, I was the one who had to take all of the stories, synthesize them into who was that individual. So then I did a tarot to understand this dream a bit better. And the Fool card came up. And funny enough, the guy in the dream that was dead, we had a photo of him, and it looked exactly like this guy. So the idea is that, and I just came back from Hawaii, so there was a lot of symbolism that I'm now piecing together. Going to Hawaii, having this experience that you saw in the last vlog, where I became this kind of a child again, and the Fool card is all about becoming the child again. Because only when you become this innocent, non-judgmental, free spirit, can you now see the different parts of you that are not the real you, and not judge them, so that you can sort of remove those layers that are not you and become that child. So it was kind of an initiation in my dream to become and let go of like the parts of me that are outdated. So I thought that was a fascinating kind of process with the tarot, but also with the vlog that I shared last week, and everything that I will be sharing in this vlog as well. So yeah. Okay, so I have to tell you guys something. It's the full moon. It's been the full pretty much in the sky for the past 5 days. My dreams have been crazy. What I really want to share, I was just at yoga, and these past few days, every time I close my eyes, I'm transported inside my painting, in between the layers of water that you see, trying to figure out what I'm gonna put on the altar. And today I was in Shavasana, contemplating on that altar again, and whatever I'm gonna put on the altar just became obvious, because in the yoga studio there's all these mirrors reflecting back at me. So I knew I wanted to put a necklace with a tortoise on it, and I'll explain this in a further video, but I want to put something that represents this whole concept together. And then I had the idea, or I actually saw a mirror on the altar that was facing me. So as I was in my imagination, in the painting, looking at the altar, I saw a mirror that reflected my image back at me. And so the reason why I'm here right now with the moon is because I saw myself, but not my physical self. I saw exactly what you're seeing in the sky right now. Some sort of glowing ball of light that was mirroring back to me my light. And that's really what this place I'm painting is all about. It's a place of transformation, for removing layers of the non-self, of the kind of constructed self, so that only what remains is your true self. So then I go out in the parking to go back home, and I see this moon. And as I was inside this space, I was imagining this ball of light and how I'm gonna paint it. And that's exactly how I was imagining it. This kind of diffused light amongst darkness. So I'm here to take a picture of this so that I can replicate it. And then the symbolism kind of always goes deeper once it starts. The moon is a symbol in the occult of our unconscious mind. And our unconscious mind is a lot more true to who we really are than our conscious mind. What we're conscious and what we see when the sun is out. The moon reflects the light that we cannot see during the day. So anyways, this is gonna be what I'm gonna use to make this reflection and this ball of light glow and diffuse. I'm really excited about this, so thanks for listening. And I think, you know what, I think that's gonna be the end of this episode. I think it ends it well. Okay, so I wanted to end the video there, but look at this first. See, this is the altar. And I was just looking in the archives of the Met Museum. You can see pictures of, and here we have a mirror with Hathor emblem handle, which fits perfectly with these Hathor symbolism. So I'm gonna look more into research what those mirrors were used for and why Hathor was on them, but I want to take this item and put it on the altar somehow as the mirror. So stay tuned.